So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final and most exciting panel of the day, not to miss, with fabulous panelists with us tonight. So, before we dive into the topic, I will ask all the panelists to introduce themselves very quickly to the crowd. If you want to start.
Thank you very much. This is Fahad Al-Abalan. I'm the Group CEO of Al-Hukair Group, which is the national champion for the hospitality, entertainment, and catering business here in Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Egypt. Thank you very much.
There's a button, I think. Put up.
Hi, good evening. Farhan Rufau, I'm the district director for the Radisson Hotel Group here in Riyadh. I've been in the kingdom for nearly 8 years now.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Hi, Bastian. Good to see you again. My name is Imran Changezi. I lead the hospitality development for Daraya. Pleasure being here.
Assalamu alaikum jami'an. My name is Mohammed Marghalani. I've been in the hotel operations for almost 18 years, and recently I moved to one of PIF projects, DAN, which is specialized in agri-tourism. Pleasure meeting you. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Luis Nicolas Barrios, Regional Manager, Innovation, Education and Investments, UN Tourism, based here in Riyadh in our regional office, servicing the whole Middle East.
So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in this evening. So, I will start the question to Fahad. We are here to talk about the importance of human capital within our sector. Why do you think investing in human capital is important right now in the kingdom?
Yeah, thank you very much. I think to cover the value chain of the services in the hospitality sector, I think building is very important, location, digital, product that you... But I think without a human capital that will be delivering the service, that they are well trained, all these investment will be like having a zero impact in your business. So always in any interaction with any customers, clients, human capital that's already skilled, trained, is very important to deliver the company vision and also the company promise, the product promise to any clients. So it's very important. I know it's not the only element that is very important, but it's the most important elements in the value chain of the services, in the addition to the location, building, product, and digital experience.
Thank you. Talking about this, the industry has got lots of needs, lots of demands. Yeah. Let me get to you, Nicolas. When we're talking about the needs of the industry and how the current and emerging trends in terms of education and support to the local workforce are happening in the kingdom. What is UNWTO doing to support those new trends?
Yes, as you know, the education needs for the industry, the forecast is the need of around 800,000 people joining the workforce for the next 30 years. That's the estimation. So we can tackle, there's different initiatives that we put together at a local level. We're now opening regional offices through the world to be closer to our member states and to be able to interact not only with the institutional side but also with the private sector at a more local level. And here in Saudi Arabia we have been running a project with the Ministry of Tourism in which we have been certifying education programs in tourism through our certification called TEDQUAL. This is one that is probably being adopted by the MT, although I don't want to put word on their mouths, but it's probably going to be the standard for certification of tourism programs in the kingdom. And also we developed, along with the ministry, a new program called the FDP, Tourism Faculty Development Program, by which we facilitate the actualization of teachers in tourism and also the transfer of knowledge by professionals to tourism institutions, by giving them the tools to be able to teach and transfer the experience to the students. So that way we can act locally and not focus so much on online education and other tools that have been used so far. So these two programs I would like to highlight.
Nice. Imran, to you now, when we're listening to this, so something's happening, but the number of people that are getting or benefiting from those programs compared to the thousands that need to be hired, there is a bit of a gap right now. So the companies like yours opening so many hotels, and with your first hotel, I think, opening on National Day, so in a few days, companies like you need to have internal training program, really supporting this growth of the talent. What is being done in Diriyah in terms of training program development?
No, thank you, Bastian. I think before I go to the hospitality part, it wouldn't be fair if I don't mention what we do company-wide as Diriyah. So in Diriyah, for everybody's information, we are nearly 2,600 people in Diriyah alone as a Diriyah company, of which 86% are Saudi nationals. And that's one of probably the highest, if not one of the highest percentages of Saudi talent that we have working for Diriyah, which is staggering. Out of that 86%, 87% of Saudi talent, we have got nearly 36% of the Saudi female talent. So that's again a very, very impressive sort of a number that we're very proud of. So from a company level, that's the kind of stats that we work with, and that's the kind of stats that we believe in. And this is what we are driving in the company as far as our contribution is concerned. When it comes to my asset class, our asset class, hospitality industry that we're in, we aim to open around 40 hotels over the course of until 2030 and beyond, contributing around 6,600 keys in Riyadh, various tier levels, mostly luxury, but then mid-scale, lower mid-scale as well. We anticipate in Diriyah alone, just our hotels alone, will require around 14,500 to 15,000 workforce going into those hotels. With the example of our first hotel that you kindly mentioned, Bab Samhan, a luxury collection hotel, we're very excited that it's coming to a time when we will finally open the door. I would like to probably mention one of the amazing initiatives that our asset management department took. Right now, on an onboarding program that we have for the hotel, so I'll start with a small example. It's a boutique hotel. It's 134 hotels, 134 keys. It will have a Michael Mina licensed restaurant. It will have another specialty restaurant. So it's quite a fair setup. Challenge was, how do we ramp up? How do we prepare ourselves for the opening? How do we bring Saudi talent in? So I'm very proud to share that based with our partnership with Marriott and what asset management and everybody has done within Diriyah, right now, you've got nearly about 100 colleagues on board, basically, of which 70% are Saudi, 70. So it owes a big gratitude to the work that everybody has done, starting from the program that was initiated by asset management. We went out, identified the talent, nearly 40 of them, went through the training, went through evaluations and all that, embedding them directly into the hotels, because there's nothing better than putting them in the mainstream, putting them in the hotel. Because we all start from somewhere. And it's not about, you earn your degree, you earn your certificates and all that. That will continue on the side. But we would like to make sure that we're walking the talk by incorporating that talent straight into the hotel so they learn as well at the same time. They're really, really good talent. Answering your second part of the question, that what else are we doing? So there was one example that we are starting with one hotel now. We've already started our discussions 2 years ago with HRDF, which is Human Resource Development Fund. We've been talking to many partners. UNWTO, of course, has been leading, and it's great to have your presence over here, of course, in the kingdom. Jerry is obviously appointed ambassador as well on behalf of the United Nations as well. So we owe a lot of responsibility towards that. And we will be, and we are running a lot of programs with our partners. So we've got 38 announced hotels that we have, all the part, right from your Four Seasons to Ritz-Carltons to Capella to Montage to Baccarat, you name it, whatever. We brought them on one platform together, and we asked them to think together, collaborate together, because it's not about war and talent, that who will poach who. It's about collaboratively working together, and with their assistance, coming up with a curriculum that will help identify the gaps that we have right now in the market, and then addressing those gaps and bringing out what is back of the house talent, technical services, front of the house, whatever that is, And we're very proud to see that even our own in Daraya, even in delivery, which is a very tough department, project delivery, on site, wearing your hard hat and the boots, you have got our Saudi females who are on site, which is fantastic to see. So we hope to continue that momentum as well going forward.
Nice. Very nice. And it shows the dedication of the project to be part of the solution as well. Excellent. Mohammed, I would like to come to you because you're the representative of the PIF project in a very large way, yeah? And when we look at what PIF has done in different industries, they're always trying to reinvent and modernize to the extreme what is being done in the different industries they get in. When you look at the hospitality and when you look at the hiring, the training, how are you integrating the new technologies in these elements of development and recruitment of the workforce?
It's a tough one. You promised me an easy one. No, I'm just kidding. Thank you very much for the question. And allow me first to give hats off to Dir'iyya and Imran. I mean, not because I want a discount on one of their luxury villas, but I do, but there's another purpose. But no, I mean it. If you look at what Dir'iyya have done in terms of localizing the manpower, I mean, almost 80%. You mentioned the Saudization. I mean, they have done it in a way, right now, if you go to Al-Bujairi, I mean, not now, I mean, 2 years back, if you go to Al-Bujairi, when was attracting Saudi talents to this industry was difficult. They were hiring tour operators and tour guides in Al-Bujairi, and they are well knowledgeable, and they speak different languages. So really, hats off for creating this much dedication. And so whenever Imran mentioned about Dir'iyya, I believe it's also somehow started from PIF, right? So we take credits as well, huh? Right? No,
Nicely done. Good,
right?
Good answer. Something else you would like to add?
No, so if you look at PIF as an umbrella and you look at the giga projects that are happening, you can see Red Sea. You all heard about the Red Sea, the number of students that they send them on a bachelor degree and diploma in different vocational training programs, right? And as well as Qiddiya project. I mean, a lot of people, they are still abroad studying, and they're waiting until they finish their study and come back to the kingdom to add more. And we have made sure that the people or the student or potential Saudis who are sent abroad to be to learn hospitality, not learning only the classical hospitality, but what's coming up to date, because the kingdom is moving toward 2030, and the technology became a big part of it. So a lot of learning curve about hospitality has been tweaked, right? And with PIF and the offering that they are doing to make sure that we meet the goal of Vision 2030, 1.5 million jobs, right? And they are aiming for 70% Saudization in the hospitality sector. If you look at 2022, the average Saudization was 25, and the goal is 70. It's something not easy. So Human Resources Development Fund has also allocated 10 billion Saudi riyal, not only for the hospitality, but for overall industries to promote and to recruit and train Saudis. So they can occupy the 70% of the hospitality that they're aiming for.
Yeah. And I know you're shy because you cannot give all the secrets of the projects, but I know as well that some of the projects have been doing some AI marketing for the recruitment, so marketing AI driven and not just some natural posts. Some of the projects have been working as well on trainings that have been with gamification in order to adapt to this new generation and the way they're absorbing information and the limited span of attention, so very short training but efficient and constant reminders, so different things are being done. Yeah. Farhan, let me come back to you, because when we're talking about all of this, at the end of the day, it's very good to be able to train the people, but first we need to acquire this workforce, the talent acquisition. Yeah. Being an international company, representing an international company, you know that many people who come to the kingdom are saying it's not easy to find talent. How Radisson is able to acquire talent for the properties? You have many properties already, 5 I think in in Riyadh? I don't know how many in the country, and many opening soon?
By first quarter next year, we'll have 12 open in Riyadh. We have 9 now at the moment. And yeah, it's not easy, it's not easy, but the most important thing is to keep at it. I remember when I arrived here 7 years ago, I did my hotel, it was the third one that we opened, and I did an open day only to fulfill the Saudi positions. That was 2018. I can assure you, after the first 3 hours, I was depressed. It was horrible, horrible. Now I look back, and some of these interviews, they are still in my hotel working. And it's amazing when given the opportunity and given the trust and help them to use their passion, what the Saudi talent can do. From absolutely no idea of hospitality, to keep receiving letters of recommendations, to keep getting offers from government entities, to move to them instead of staying with hospitality. So really, the key is not throwing them money and, that would be the easy part. The key is to have faith on them. That look for the motivation and the talent, not look for the skills. That, the good thing of the Saudi talent is that they're very, very well educated. It's amazing. This is my 5th country that I work. I've never been in a country where the local talent is so well educated. It's just a matter now of having faith on them and let them make mistakes. And we'll fix them. We all make mistakes in our careers. And we always had a manager, a supervisor that tell us, look, move on, learn from it, you'll do it better next time. So main key factor, have faith, work hard, they are there and they will be there.
Okay, as we are saying, this is true. It's the passion and the inspiration which are really leading the industry here. The inspiration that's motivates the people to join, and then the passion to stay and to develop in the industry. Fahad, coming back to you, so once we have those people staying with us, working in the different companies, and being trained to be even more efficient, how do you measure the success of all of those trainings? Because it's good to train the people, and we can talk about many years of training being done in different companies, but how do you measure the impact on your business of all those hours of training?
Yeah, I think our story as a company is a bit different with a company like this. We started the operation in 1972 in the region. And already we established one of the training institute under one of our subsidiaries, part of the group. Absolutely, the awareness about the hospitality, it's totally different, as you just mentioned. So after Vision 2030 announcements, we felt that the awareness of the trainees is different, and also the output of any training is already uplifted, because there is an awareness and there is a high skilled and there is a knowledge about the hospitality. As a hospitality in Arabian countries is part of our values, and there are some tactics need to be taken to be delivering that services. When it's come to the measurements, we already, absolutely, the reviews in Google, this is one of the measurement that we are using to calculate or measuring the customer satisfaction. Net promoter score, this is one of the things. And also, we are developing one of the metrics to be having internal communication tool between us, because we are having around 3,100 keys, room keys in Saudi Arabia, around 23 hotels in different cities in Saudi, around 14 cities in Saudi. And we are working with many brands, Radisson Blu, Marriott, IHG. So what we are doing, we are leveraging the experience of the mother companies to be monitoring the training skills of the skills of our staff. However, we are revamping that skill by doing rewarding system for our staff, and also we are working to implement one tool, we call it Manager Day Out. Any leader that working in head office, so I am planning to work as a chef, I will work as a housekeeper, I will work as a front officer, just to evaluate that one and to uplift the service, and we will be monitoring the skills of the employees by monitoring the customer satisfaction and net promoter score.
Okay. When we are looking at the development again of all this workforce, and even with the high level of Saudization and talent development locally, you still need to bring some expert as well to the country, like a few of us on the panel, in order to work on this acceleration. So, Mohammed, I come back to you because you represent such a large entity. When we talk about the employer branding, because even within the entity where you are right now, you have a few foreign experts as well working with you. How do you think Saudi Arabia is positioning itself for international talent to join and to be part of this acceleration and transformation?
I love this question, and thank you for asking. Indeed. You see, I always speak to the people when they talk about Saudization and Saudi talent inside the hotels, right, industry. I always tell them the beauty of the hospitality is to have multinational people working together. And I told them my aim when we used to work at the Ritz-Carlton was to have 70% maximum. And I told them maximum, and I mean it. I don't want it to be exceeding maximum because it's a hospitality. You are welcoming people from around the globe. So it is important to have international people, international expertise working with you to welcome the people. And this is the beauty of the hospitality and tourism industry. For me, it will not look, if the hotel is 100% Saudis, I mean, I feel we are targeting the wrong idea here, right? It has to be a mix between international expertise and local. So 70%, 30% international expertise, I think it's a great balance. So I always tell them, Saudis, they have hospitality in their DNA. So they are born with the hospitality. But it's just a matter of, I mean, putting this DNA in South Saudi under an international what do you call it? International
hub?
Right, yeah, exactly. So I was telling them, just imagine you have the true hospitality of Saudis, which is about authenticity and being generous, and you merge it with international hospitality standard, right? I mean, it will create something unbelievable. And this is, I believe, what PIF are doing. They are, right?
I hope you know.
So if you look at all the hospitality projects that's happening in PIF, the announced one, you will see a mix between local and international expertise. And I'm very glad to see a lot of big name of international hoteliers, which I used to look at them as a role model, coming to Saudi, I mean, to teach the young generations the true hospitality. And this is amazing. I'm sure the result will be, I mean, no one will ever be seeing it in the world. Authentic generosity from the Saudis and a true international hoteliers. I mean, it will create, I mean, a massive hospitality.
Yeah, I totally agree with this, and I was always saying to my GMs that in Saudi, when you come to Saudi and you're the GM of a property, you need to come with a mindset where you know that at least 30% of your time needs to be on coaching and developing the next generation, because that's so important to pass on this knowledge and to make sure you help growing the local talent. Yeah, absolutely. Imran, coming to you, because you mentioned all those openings that you're going to have over the coming few years. You're working with some of the most well-known international brands which are present internationally. And one element that always comes back with those brands, usually when you talk about the workforce, is the element of diversity and inclusion. So you talk, for instance, about the percentage of ladies working within the institution. You talk about the percentage as well of person maybe with some disabilities that could be included within as well the workforce and trained to work in the hospitality. Can you share with us maybe some of the things that you are doing in the area?
Sure, certainly. So Daraya, I'm sure I don't need to preach to my fellow Saudi colleagues what Daraya is and how important it is as part of the national heritage. So Daraya has got its own community, a very, its own rooted community that has been there and for generations and generations as well. So one example I can give is that within that Daraya workforce that I mentioned earlier, about 2,600 people, 14% of that workforce is from the Raya community. So our responsibility is towards the community that we are servicing, that we are developing, that we are putting in. And earlier, as Mohammed rightly mentioned, when we opened our first operational assets 2 years ago, Bujeri Terrace, with all those fantastic restaurants, international names, right from Hakkasan to Flamingos and everybody else, the challenge was how do we integrate that local community feeling, and one of the best idea was put them at the forefront, put them at the front of the house, put them as a welcoming host, and gradually it has developed so well that they're integrated everywhere. Now when you walk in, you will truly feel the sense of that Saudi warmth and generosity that Muhammad talked about, that you have that. So that community investment and giving them that the platform was very, very important. The next point probably, and some of my colleagues, I just saw a glance across the room, some of them are here as well. I'm very proud of them and we are very proud of them. And some of them are not only male, I mean, I'll talk only about hospitality asset class within the Raya. Directly or indirectly, there are about 70 to 80 people working across our team in design, development, and delivery, of which nearly 34 are Saudi nationals, 34, of which nearly 50%, 50 to 60% are female. Some of them I can see in the crowd as well, and we are very, very proud of them and what they've achieved so far. They are at the forefront, and when they interact with our operators, when they interact with those international names that you mentioned as well, those names see these faces as not a figure on a paper, but actually live people working and delivering a project. So they get inspired with that as well. Our goal at the end of the day is not to treat Saudi number as a ratio or a percentage. It's not about the percentage, it's not about the ratio. It's about really appealing to their sense of DNA and generosity and helping them understand that being a host is not only religiously important for us, it's part of the DNA and social upbringing, but being the part of host will then not matter at all whether you're working back at the house or front of the house, or whether you're in F&B or housekeeping or rooms or whatever. That barrier is breaking. So diversity and inclusion is already happening. The amount of females that you see now are equaling the male. They're giving a run of money to the guys, because in terms of the competition and the kind of talent that you have, it's fantastic. I mean, Hogair Group is one of the great examples, and it goes back to 70s, and as you mentioned, one of the pioneers going in the kingdom at that time, when probably it was not by a trend, but a choice that they entered the hospitality. And what they've created, that legacy and the trailblazing environment. I'm also happy to contribute that from the Raya, we have also given some talent. Maha is sitting here. She's joined Hogair from the Raya as well. So this is cross-pollination that's going on right now, us benefiting from the pioneers, them benefiting from new ideas, new brands, new entrants. I think it's only going to get better and better in future as well, from diversity, inclusion, and that number that we chase. I don't think there will be a day when we'll be saying what's the percentage of Saudis. It's a normal inclusionary factor that they have to be there, because at the end of the day, you're working in a country where 60% of the population is national. You're not working in a country where national population is 15%. You're working in a very strong, well-represented community, well-educated. 60% of them are under 35 years old. I mean, that's a gold mine for hospitality, absolutely.
Thank you. Fahad, going back to this, because your company has been a leader in the country for a long time. You have your own brands, and you're working as well with foreign brands. How do you adapt, in a way, if you do it, your trainings in order to reflect the cultural specificities? What I mean by this is that when we talk about the warmth of the hospitality of Saudi, very often we go back to when you were kids at home, you welcome the people with the dates and the coffee, and that's the kind of warmth that you need to generate as well when you welcome guests into a hotel. Even if you have grown up, it's still the same sense of being a host. How do you reflect those cultural specificities in your trainings?
Yeah. Honestly, we are working on a transformation program for all the group departments. We see the announcement soon. One of the things that we are working on, we have one of the competitive advantages that we are having hotels in different cities of Saudi Arabia. And the beauty of Saudi Arabia that the traditions, the food types, even the accent is different between Tabuk and Jizan, and even the flavor of food, the flavor of the tea as well. We are trying to position that in our hotel, depends on the location. One of our focus to be focusing in our brand as well. We already own the brand, we call it Mina. We have 4 hotels here in Saudi Arabia and 2 hotels in UAE. And we'll try to deliver these, I would say, the philosophy through our brand as well. But one of the transformation program that we are doing to uplift the training material and curriculum as per our strategy, and absolutely part of that to be acquiring some of the talent from the market. We just have someone from Diriyah, she just joined us, and absolutely maybe Dan will be taking someone for us. This is the beauty of the hospitality sector, but I am impressed about the quality of people because we have very excellent experience in last 40 and 50 years, but this is one of the important elements to be uplifting the capability of our team by uplifting the services. One of the things, we just enter catering business. Catering is part of the hospitality, I would say, because there are like many giga projects. We are like feeding around 3,000 people every day now in Neom, and potentially will be reaching to 10,000 people soon. And we already have our executive chef there is Saudi, and we have many of the team members came from Tabuk just in weekdays. In the weekend they are going back, and we have like around part of 160 people there, around 40 people are female. So there is already the quality of people already uplifted, and absolutely because of the competition in the market, because of the awareness, there is a big improvement will be happening, and we are considering this part of our transformation.
Okay, thank you. Nicolas, I would like to come back to you regarding the global perspective, because with UNWTO, as you mentioned, you're in many different locations in the world. Yeah? How are you ensuring that the training programs which are supported or developed in cooperation with you do prepare the employees of tomorrow to work within a globalized economy? Because as much as we keep on talking about purely local challenges or opportunities, at the end of the day, the workforce of tomorrow need to be part of this global economy. How is UNWTO supporting these kind of things?
Probably the strategy would be think global, act local. So we are opening tourism academies in collaboration with UNWTO. We just opened one in Samarkand that will start operation in October. We're working with the Riyadh School of Tourism and Hospitality also, that would be located in Gidilla. We're working with several countries in Africa and also with Dominican Republic, because they have to train the local talent locally, but with international standards and international quality requirements, and bringing in the most fitted international educational partners to fit the needs of the countries for the specific the workforce they need to develop. For example, Zimbabwe wants to focus on culinary arts, so we will work with them for that specific sector or say vertical. In Dominican Republic, they have to service the hotels, so their needs are very much frontline, vocational, and then professionals. But then again, they need to be able to move. So we're working also in standardizing the certifications. So let's say you get certified in Dominican Republic, and then you want to go to work in Cuba or Panama. Then you are certified, and whatever it says, your certification, you're capable of being recognized elsewhere. This is something that in the vocational sector is not so widespread as it is with international, with the diplomas or university degrees. And this is something that we want to work on also. And I would like to add to this question that you threw to my colleague about technology. Just want to mention that last year we had a startup competition, Women in Tech for the Middle East. Probably you heard me talking about that. Roughly 10% of the startups that competed, only women-led, based in the region in the Middle East. Roughly 10% were proposing solutions that they were AI-powered. This year, probably 80% of the proposals are AI-powered. So AI is behind everything now. So that needs to be incorporated to our teaching tools or our delivery programs. Like we have done in the Tourism Online Academy, our platform for online education that we have upgraded with the collaboration or with the sponsorship of the Saudi government. And we've incorporated an AI tutor and an AI assistant all together within months, bringing in, jumping on the wave of AI to profit the students. And that makes, also creates an opportunity to personalize education at a level that we had never seen before. So that, I believe that's the right approach to have standardized levels of education and also push technologies to the benefit of the students.
Ferran, as you mentioned, you've been here for 7 years. You have seen the evolution of the market, you know. When we're looking at maybe some new emerging trends that you see in terms of the requirement of the workforce or the possibilities to recruit differently, what do you think will be, if you can share secrets with a few people around, what do you think will make a difference in your workforce strategy or talent acquisition, talent development over the coming few years?
You know, what was interesting when I arrived here, you rarely will see a Saudi national working outside of a reception of a hotel. Now, you know, we all have employees in kitchens, front office, restaurants, housekeeping, accounts, everywhere. But what we saw, and we did an initiative now last week actually, where we offer everyone in the hotel to do a job shadowing in any other position in the hotel, any position. We had chefs working in accounts. We have receptionists working in the restaurant. We had security doing beds in housekeeping. So I think the key now is to show everyone that there is so many options within a hotel. And the path, your career can go to new heights if you just look what's around and choose the right fit for yourself. So I think the key now is to attract more talent and is to show them how much hospitality has. And look, we all know hospitality is one of these business that you have to love it or be crazy to be in it. You know, you work long hours, you work when everybody else is enjoying the festivities. You rarely see your family, you rarely see your friends. So now it's time to show everybody how much this sector can offer to them.
Yeah, that's very true, and in many of the panels over the years we've been talking about all the opportunities that the industry can deliver, because very often on different panels people think about the chefs, the receptionists, the waiters, but they always forget the finance, the marketing, the revenue management, the e-marketing, and many other disciplines which are actually present in the hotels. I remember when last year we tried to recruit some engineers, technical engineers, chief engineers for the hotel. You were going to some of the technical schools and they will tell you, but you have engineers in the hotels? Yes, everything is not outsourced. You have a team inside the hotel. Yeah? So that's true. This diversification within different disciplines is extremely important, and opening those doors is something where we can have, all of us, a positive impact. Last question from me, and then we'll go to the crowd. Mohamed, coming back to you. It's the last one, don't worry. We are good after. We talk about all those things, all those trainings, all those programs, all those investments which are done in order to grow talent. But we know as well that some of the talent, or one of the challenge, is the retention. Because some of the talent have a tendency to jump a bit boats from one company to the other. How do you see that over the coming years, the companies are going to be able to make it more sustainable, to to have this investment in training, which is more sustainable to carry for the years to come?
Yeah, actually, see, there is a problem with the retention of the young Saudis in the hospitality. And I believe this is also because 70% of Saudi population are below 30, right? We are from the 30%, above 30, yeah?
You're the youngest at the
Right?
table.
Yeah. But can you imagine that 70% of the population are below 30? And I think this is not only a problem in Saudi Arabia, but I think it's globally, right? So when it comes to loyalty is not very strong to the brand. Previously, you can see people like, I worked with the Ritz-Carlton for 12 years, right? 12 years, it's a long period of time. When you meet with the young Saudis, I mean, they have different priorities, different preferences, right? And I think I can understand somehow the life is expensive, things are moving, we have a lot of giga projects coming in, a lot of opportunities, and you can see now Saudis are moving from company to company, right? You see, I always give them advice. I tell them, listen, I mean, if you keep jumping from one year to another year to another company, I mean, any employer, when they look at your CV, they will see that you don't have loyalty, right? So you need to at least to show that whenever you move to a company, you stay there at least for 2 years and you get promotion, so you prove that to anyone else outside in the market that you proved yourself inside your current company and you get promotion. And then you can go to another companies. I mean, there is no direct answer. Honestly, I'm also struggling a little bit with the retention. It's, I mean, with a lot of opportunities in the market and a lot of giga projects. So, but I can give some of the example of some of the companies, sister companies, what they did. Some of the sister companies or sister entities, they have made owner agreement between themselves that you cannot transfer employees from one entity to another entity unless the employee complete 2 years. And I think this is somehow is controlling the market. According to what I have witnessed, the market right now is much more stable with this rule for those companies. So it can be a solution, right? I mean,
something I've seen working as well in some hotels is the instead of being too rigid in the periods that you need to do in each of the position, based on the new generation, to have a development plan which are much more flexible depending on the individual, because there is no more a size fits all, and not everybody is absorbing at the same speed, and not everybody wants to grow at the same speed. And by adapting those development program to be more flexible and personalized, it helps as well to have this retention, because then you have a clear development program which is adapted to you, and you don't feel like one of many, but you understand what can be specifically for you on this road, yeah?
Absolutely. On this road. Absolutely.
So, gentlemen, let's take a few questions from the audience. Anybody has a question for our panelists? Please, microphone there, please. No microphone? Okay, so microphone. Hopla, thank you. Adaptation.
Always.
It's on.
Hi.
It's on already.
Hi, how are you? I'm very happy to attend this conference. First of all, my questions to everybody, if somebody needs to give one brief about my question. What do you think about the future of hospitality in Saudi? Especially Saudi is coming to, at Expo, they are going to host Expo 2030 and the World Cup 2034. So what is about the future of hospitality in Saudi from the point of everybody? Thanks a lot.
Did you hear the question? So, you know, you have many events coming to the kingdom. Will it be the Expo? Will it be the Cup 2034 and so on? How do you feel about the growth of hospitality in the country?
You're looking at me.
That was not my question. That was not my question.
I think in short, it's we wouldn't be sitting over here talking about Saudi talent and how to grow and what to do if we were not jointly optimistic about the future of hospitality. I think this is one of those industries that probably was not looked at from a talent point of view as an industry that they wanted to work in earlier. But now it is phenomenal to see the kind of growth that there is. It's not only from the talent perspective, it's about the kind of projects that are coming, the vision that His Royal Highness announced, and that vision literally transformed the nation and the country and what is happening over here. We are eager to showcase this destination. We are welcoming people in. The amount of laws and regulations change overnight in order to make it flexible for people to come. The amount of the visitors alone, its first target was 100 million, right? That this was the target. We surpassed that target already, 109 million. The next target is 150 million. Riyadh alone has a 40 million target for visitors. It's not numbers on a paper anymore, it's a reality. Domestic tourism, international tourism, everything is growing right now. But what they're looking for is a sound infrastructure, good quality facilities, and good service-oriented employees to service them. That's what they're looking for. And we believe that the future is amazingly bright. And I think Saudi Arabia, as the country, will be the leader in terms of the entire region of what kind of quality that is coming in terms of the brand and operator, but also quality of the talent that is intrinsically available in the kingdom as well. That is a beautiful match with that.
You know, the country wants to reach 10% of the GDP focus on tourism. When you are, the panel is about the workforce. Imagine the hundreds of thousands of people that are going to be working. We're talking about 1.5 million, I think that was the last number. So it's lots of opportunities. So I don't think you're going to find anybody here, on stage at least, who is not supporting this, because 1.5 million new workers working in the tourism with the passion that we have described before and with the opportunity given is definitely the place to be. Any more questions from the crowd? Somebody at the back, somebody at the front, here? Thank you.
Thank you. Cultural, I have a question for all the panelists. Cultural integration. How can Saudi hospitality industry in Saudi Arabia effectively integrate traditional customs and values into modern hospitality practices?
No, I was turning around.
Thank you, Master.
Fahad, I think this one is for you. So, really, it's very close to the question you had before, but basically, how do you adapt to the cultural specificities through your company, for instance, as an example?
Yeah, the good thing about the culture ecosystem now, there is a Ministry of Culture, and there are like many authorities are targeting many segments. We have a fashion authority, music authority, also food authority. We have, honestly, I think there are 12 authorities under Ministry of Culture when it's come to the awareness and knowledge content of culture. And you see the topography and the geography of Saudi Arabia totally different between the north, east, west, and we have very wealthy heritage that we could expand it. I think the good thing, there is a monitoring. The slogan of Saudi Tourism Authority is welcome to Arabia. They started with this. And also there are like very beautiful practices already happening, some of the advertisement already happening just to embed the culture of Saudi Arabia with the global markets. I know there are some another global companies will be operating here in Saudi, but absolutely there is a monitoring to be capturing the sense of culture here in Saudi. The good thing also there are every year there is a big campaign